All right. Another dimension. Here we are. Welcome back. I'm Quinn.
I'm Trask.
I'm Taylor.
Hey, Taylor.
I like the change up there.
It's Christmas week.
It is Christmas week, and hoping everyone has a great holiday.
Yes.
Safe, happy, get to spend some time with your loved ones. And if you're a driver, you're home for the holidays if you want to be.
Yeah. And it may not be special to some people, and it doesn't have to be, but, you know, sometimes it's just nice to reflect on the year, reflect on how fortunate a lot of us are. And if you can, like you just said, help out some others. Mm-hmm. You just did a fundraiser for a family that lost a...
Yeah, they didn't lose everything, but there's some hard times. I don't know exactly what happened, but the guys on the fire department were able to raise $875 and donate it to them right before the holidays, and they were able to get Christmas presents for their kids.
Which is
awesome.
The explanation for your mustache.
Yeah, and it's not going. I'm going to grow it out until next year.
I thought it was going to be gone in December, but...
Well, maybe.
Becca likes it.
It's growing on her.
Yeah. So home for the holidays. It's important to us.
Well, it's important to a lot of people. You know, in the trucking world, there's different ethnicities, there's different religions, and even with all the stuff going on in the news about ethnic and non-domiciled drivers, like some religions don't celebrate this, you know. But it's important to us. It's important to you as a company, and important that our drivers are home. It's the one like non-negotiable holiday that everyone is home.
Yeah, it's non-negotiable for me that everybody is home to at least spend some time with their family. Mm-hmm. If there was the off chance that we would have work and somebody would want to do that, that would be okay. But it's never something that we would say, hey,
you got to do it.
We would say no to a customer before we'd say no to a driver. Just putting that out there.
Before we would put a driver in that position, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's customers that would do that as well.
Customers for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
But also, thankfully this year, Christmas is on a Thursday. So people can get stuff in before, and leaving the day after Christmas doesn't really matter.
It doesn't do anything for us.
Well, it depends on where you're going. But the weeks where the years where it's really hard is when it's on like a Monday or a Tuesday.
Yeah.
But yeah, so happy holidays. Thanks for everyone that's listening, subscribing, sharing, commenting. We haven't seen a lot of comments lately because we haven't been the most reliable. We had 2 back-to-back weeks where we couldn't put episodes out because we stunk. Mm-hmm. But to answer the word of the day last week for Mackenzie, the word was home 20.
Home 20.
Phrase was home 20, I should say. And Taylor, do you have a guess?
My original guess was your home terminal, wherever you're out of, was my initial guess.
Well, what's your 20 is your location.
Yep.
So like your home location. Yep. So I guess depending on how you do it, it could be your terminal depending on how it's asked, or your home address, not your home address.
Where you live.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
City.
What's your location?
Your zip code, your area code, the 920.
The 90210?
Yeah. Beverly Hills.
So what do you got for us today?
I got a lot of stuff. It's going to be an action-packed episode, probably the best one yet.
Awesome.
In my opinion.
All right. Let's let it rip.
This next news, I guess, in the news will play into kind of our main topic. But have you heard about the $44 million lawsuit that
I heard about yeah, I'm not up to speed on it.
So in 2021, there was a snow and ice storm in Texas.
Yep.
Prime, big company.
They're out of Missouri, I believe.
I believe they're out of Missouri. Yep. I think you're right. Was driving down in Texas, and it was covered in snow and ice. It was we had 3 drivers that lived in the area at the time, and I remember like there was ice and like they didn't have heat and like remember that
everything was shut down.
Yep, it was bad. This driver was driving, whether he should have been or shouldn't have been, it's not for me to decide, but the court decided that he was negligent and not practicing extreme caution for the road conditions.
Okay.
Ended up rear-ending a car that was stopped at a traffic light.
Okay.
Causing a fatality.
Okay.
The jury just awarded the family of the person that deceased $44 million.
I don't want to break in here. Wasn't there something? Was there another case where their truck got rear-ended due to being negligent for not having the proper safety, the triangles out?
Maybe. I'm sure. I mean, they're huge.
Okay.
But
That could have been Werner.
maybe it was Werner.
Could have been Werner.
But
40 million? 44 million?
44 million.
Okay.
So Prime was found guilty of it. The reason the jury found them guilty is that their final ruling was it is the company's responsibility to make sure that their employees and their equipment are operated safely and efficiently. This driver was deemed to, they didn't say in the article that he was being like erratic driving, wasn't on his phone, wasn't distracted, but did not have the proper training for the conditions. And there was no, he wasn't practicing caution during inclement weather.
Wow.
How do you, someone passed away. Like
That's horrible.
That's horrible. How do you train for every situation that a driver encounters?
I don't think you possibly can. But wow. Driver's not negligent.
But he was,
Company was negligent because they didn't train him to do that.
and they
I
didn't have
wonder-
documentation of the driver having proper training for those conditions.
So I might get in the weeds here a little bit, but I know I believe Prime has their own driving school.
I don't know that.
Was it part of that? Like, hey, in his driver training, he didn't receive that proper training.
Or they did and they signed off on it?
Maybe. I don't think you can train anybody for every situation.
I mean,
no
they call
matter
them
what,
accidents for a reason, right?
well, no matter what industry you're in, trade, whatever.
Right.
The closest we could get here, and we have talked about this forever, and we need to do it, is skid pad training at the tech. I would think that would give you some sort of slippery conditions and know how to control a vehicle. Now, is that going to be comprehensive of every situation you're going to be in? Absolutely not.
No, because now this guy's going down a 2-lane highway and you practice on a 4-lane highway or whatever. You still practiced. I get that. And you default to your training, right? Like whatever that is.
Well, think about that. You're in a torrential downpour, right? How are you going to replicate that with a fire hose?
Or some guy sitting behind you just pouring buckets of water on your head as you're driving down the road. Like, I get it.
I think at the end of the day, the training probably should have been pull over.
Yeah, well, that
right?
brings up a bigger question. Like, obviously, either that driver felt like he was okay to be driving in those conditions and didn't think they were as bad as they were.
Or felt pressured.
Or is there more to this story that dispatcher's like, no, that load's got to get there?
And if that's the case,
Shame
that's
on
crap.
them. That's 100% shame on them. How many times have we said pull over?
A lot.
A lot. More than I can say we've never said, no, you got to keep driving. But on the flip side of that, how we'll get into this. We're gonna move on.
You're good.
But another study came out this week claiming by the FMCSA, claiming that small to mid-sized carriers under 250 trucks
Okay.
are 5 to 6% more likely to have crashes or fatalities than mega carriers, meaning carriers over 500,
Okay.
based on a statistical percentage. The second article, or the second point down of this article, was we understand that there's some data
Outliers?
integrity issues.
Oh.
But here's what it goes on to say. These small to mid-sized companies are 5 to 6 times. We're talking small to mid-size have a 10% chance of being in, on average, a 10% chance of being in an accident involving a towaway, a fatality, or crash, right? Large carriers, mega carriers, have 5 to 6%.
Law of averages.
Law of averages, right? But the data issue that is pulling from, these small to mid-sized carriers, everyone updates their MCS 150 biannually. Ours is off every 2 years, right? So if an accident happens today and it's based on almost 2 years ago, our driver numbers are off, and those numbers sway a lot more because it's a much bigger percentage, right?
Correct. Yep. If you have one issue, out of service, fatality, whatever, and you have a fleet size of 10,
that's huge.
Yeah. In theory, a fleet size of 100 would have 10 instances or whatever, right?
And yes, and that's what the article was going on to say, but they're actually beating those averages, right? But
I got an idea, but continue.
So those MCS 150s are updated biannually. My first question to that is, why isn't that standardized? Like, how is this that hard?
Yeah, why do you even need to do it?
Right. Like, hey, here's the vehicles that I own. These are what I have plates for. These are what's going down the road.
They know, like, for the most part, they know where trucks are. Toll roads, cameras, all that stuff. Fuel receipts.
Right.
Don't think Big Brother's not watching, because they are.
They're watching everything.
Yes.
And they'll be able to find everything out.
Yeah.
The second thing is the MCMIS, which is the Motor Carrier Management Information System.
Okay.
Which is the parent to the SMS that the public can see.
Yep.
Managed by the DOT and law enforcement in the event that there is issues with a motor carrier. That gets reported back to the FMCSA, where it's then uploaded into this Motor Carrier Management Information System. You're a DOT officer in Texas. I'm a DOT officer, a law enforcement officer in California. There's huge discrepancies on what is being reported and how it's being reported.
Oh, I believe that.
So they think 40% of these accidents that are happening are being not reported. Yes, they may be documented, but they're not hitting these carriers' scores.
I believe that 100%.
I don't understand how that even happens. It is 2025.
Yeah, but does the county sheriff, if it happened on a county road and the county sheriff takes care of that report, do they really care that the state knows about it? Because isn't the state DOT the one that's really providing those numbers and looking at those numbers? I don't know that for fact, but that's my hunch.
I will say this: if there's a fatality involved, then it's completely different, because the state boys show up and then they kind of take the scene, right? But if a truck driver gets pulled over for speeding in Appleton,
maybe I'm a lazy cop and I don't want to do the paperwork.
How is that reported?
I don't know.
That all flows into your public-facing SMS score, which is your crash indicators, your unsafe driving, all those kind of things. So there is a huge discrepancy in the data that is being used for this, but the trend itself is kind of interesting to look at. I just don't understand how it's not standardized. And maybe that's what this what's his name? Duffy is trying to do, but that's going to take years. I mean, look how long it took the clearinghouse to actually take. So
I have another thought on it.
Okay.
How many more resources do large carriers have versus us, right?
100%.
And let's just say we're not talking injuries and fatalities right now. We're talking out of service, right? There's something called data queue where you can basically defend yourself.
Ticket. Yeah. Instead of being guilty until proven innocent, you can.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know how to do it, and it's kind of probably not worth a lot of small carriers' time in their eyes, but it is.
It's huge.
Where the mega carriers have somebody dedicated to do that, right?
Because they're getting so many of them, right?
Right, and
that's happening
their safety
daily.
Department.
Right.
We talked about a couple episodes ago where I was all torqued off about getting a warning for a speeding ticket. Whatever.
Yeah, the training of that, drivers should know, hey, don't try to get a warning because that doesn't benefit you.
Right. But we feel our hands are tied. Maybe they have a corporate attorney that's like, look, this is what we're going to do here. This is stupid.
Here's our video. This is this, whatever.
And it's not on their record.
Right.
So is the data incorrect? I would say absolutely it's incorrect.
Well, and not only that, they have the safety, they have the technology, they have the ongoing training. What else are they doing?
They've just got more knowledge. They've got more firepower at their disposal.
They
got
know
things
that way,
that we don't.
But they got that way because of hard-learned lessons, right?
I would assume so.
Like-
or in-depth training and or using other people's
Examples.
Examples, yes.
Right. But this should not be this difficult. This whole concept. Like, there is no reason why this industry, and I bet if you do this across every industry, there are huge discrepancies on everything. The way things are reported, the way they are this or that, right? But why do we have to get to a point to where an article like this comes out, basically shaming trucking companies, and you can't even put it out knowing that the data is correct that you used?
I mean, look at the industry as a whole. Like, I don't want to say live in fear, but I worry every day that, hey, we're going to do something wrong. Something's going to happen, right? And
because
I'll look you in the eye and say, we do everything we can,
right,
to run legal, to abide by the rules, and we screw up once in a while, right? Now, think about this. You've got chameleon companies and all these people that are running down the road. How are these people running down the road, right? Like, you're talking about standardization. You've got trucks that are putting different numbers on. You've got trucks maybe doing different plates. Who the heck knows?
That are not even registered.
Running illegal. And they're just running down the road. And if they get caught, they just start up again.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's legislation and they're trying to prevent that and stop that. But it's, how do you differentiate a good carrier from a bad carrier right now? And
well, I think it depends on what
you mean by that.
Well, and who's doing the differentiating? Because a customer could say, "Oh, they're the cheapest and they do a great job," where the DOT could be like, "No, this is the best carrier because they have the least amount of violations." It depends on what lens you're measuring, what lens you're looking through, right? But I also thought this was interesting. So I took the top 2 offenders. They listed these in the article.
Offenders of
crashes and fatalities.
Okay.
They listed the top 10 over 500 and the top 10 under 500.
Like the ones with the most incidents.
Correct.
Okay.
And maybe your reaction is going to be the same as mine. Maybe it's not. But I actually thought the number of crashes was way lower than I expected it to be.
Okay.
So Trans DEV Services, they were the biggest offender in the category over 500. They have 930 drivers.
Okay.
They had 61 crashes.
In 2 years' time?
In 1 year time. Year to date, 2025. 1 fatality. And a crash reported to the FMCSA is anything that requires a tow, a citation, or a fatality.
Or
right?
Injury.
Sorry. A crash, injury, or
fatality. Tow, injury, fatality.
Sure. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Percentage-wise, they were like 12 or 13%, the highest offender.
Okay.
The next one down was Western Express, which, if you're in this industry, you've heard of. They're huge. They're giants. They're out of like Nashville. 4,390 drivers. Take a stab at how many crashes you think they reported over 2025.
You had 60 for the 900.
Mm-hmm.
They're 4 times the size. 250? No, under that. They're going to be better. 220.
270.
Yeah.
270? Okay.
You were almost dead on. That was impressive.
Okay.
1 fatality.
That's impressive to me.
It sucks.
It does, but
it's way, like, I thought that number would be 1,000, in my opinion.
My problem with that data is maybe not the fatality thing, but there is some discrepancy of what is considered an accident.
Well, and what is considered a tow.
Yes. Now, if I'm driving and I get rear-ended by Taylor and Taylor's car needs to get towed,
it's still your fault as a carrier.
It's still my fault. That was a tow.
And it's not your fault per se, but it
goes against you.
It's recorded against the motor carrier. Anything involving a motor carrier is recorded.
But
if you are involved in this accident, let's say...
So it's completely my fault as a regular driver. I hit you, a truck driver.
You're still
Let's
involved.
just say yes.
And it will go against you?
It's still recorded against the motor carrier because it required a tow away. Same thing with a fatality. Let's say a semi is stopped here.
That's what we believe, and I believe that is accurate.
I believe that is 100% accurate because it said it in the article.
But if they have some sort of attorney that knows how to data queue this stuff or fight that might get tossed like in Western Express. Because that number
answer.
of crashes is phenomenal.
Right.
In my opinion, they're the worst offenders.
Let's say that each one of those carrier or each one of those drivers did 2,000 miles a week, just for simple numbers, right?
Yeah.
That's 80,000 miles a week that they run, right?
Okay.
Times 5, that's 4 million miles a year.
They got to do way more than that.
Right? No. What is 4,000 times 2,000?
80 million? 800 million?
4,000 times 2,000 is what?
8 with 6 zeros. 8
million.
Yeah. We do over 1 million miles.
That's 8 million a week.
Oh, okay.
Times 50. It's
400 million.
400. That doesn't make sense. That seems like a lot too.
Yeah. Hold on. What are we doing?
But you're trying to figure out like crash rate per mile?
Yeah.
4,000 times
2,000.
8 million.
A week.
Okay.
Right.
Times 50.
Times 50. Yeah.
Or 52.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's that doesn't seem.
See, I don't think those numbers are right. If those are the worst offenders.
Percentage wise. Year to date. Okay.
So you're at like 7.5% for trans, 61 divided by 930?
I think it was 11%.
Yeah. 61 divided by 930. Yeah.
And
6.5%.
Yep.
And then 270 divided by 4390,
which is like 5%, 5.4.
Yep. Just under that, yeah.
So that means 5 out of 100 drivers get in an accident?
If you want to look at it that way.
On a week, would that be on a...
No, that'd be on a year.
On a year, yeah, okay.
Yep.
5 out of 100.
Yep. For mega carriers.
Okay.
So then we get into the carriers under 500, and the biggest offender was AD Express.
Okay.
I don't know where they're out of. Their MC looked newer, but they got 278 drivers. They've had 1 fatality and 33 crashes. So think about it this way. They got a third of the drivers of trans, and half of the crashes. Over half. Same amount of fatalities. Then you get into Hogan Truck Leasing, which I think was just bought out by someone. I forget who that was. I wonder if it plays into this. But they had 32 crashes and 1 fatality. They didn't list the number of drivers because I think they all are...
independent contractors. Yeah, they are.
But it was just... The numbers did not floor me as much as I thought they would in that article. But back to the...
I wonder how many crashes Schneider has. Or like Landstar, like a big carrier. No, I mean, Western Express is big.
Yeah.
But
I mean, who's the biggest in that realm? Is it... who bought Swift? JB Hunt and Swift, right?
Knight Swift.
They have like 9,000 drivers.
Question for you. But
yes.
We're talking recordable. A lot of these big guys are self-insured. Does some of that data not get captured because they are taking care of it before it gets to that point? But it shouldn't. If it's a tow or an injury or fatality, there's no getting out of
There's no
that.
way of skirting that. The only way, in my opinion, that could get messed up is either the reporting agency doesn't send it to the FMCSA. Either they do or they don't and done correctly, and the FMCSA doesn't upload it correctly. Mm-hmm. But all of these things then are facing the public in the safety management system. So if you're a customer out there, you can look up any company, private or public or private company in the transportation sector and see what their scores are. So I highly encourage you to make sure that you are using a safe carrier, one that puts everyone else's priority above theirs.
And let me go on record and say, there's probably people out there listening that they're probably like, well, Quinn, any fatality or any crash is bad. And I agree with you.
We agree 100%.
But what we're saying is we don't really believe the data.
That's what I say.
Okay.
Yep.
So then, going on your premise of use a safe carrier, use it compared to their peers.
And
Use
that's what,
that data compared to their peers.
So, and that's what, so maybe the data isn't right. Can we agree on that?
But if it's not right,
It's
you're
theoretically
still
not right for everyone that's
Correct.
involved. So if you are comparing XYZ company and ABC company, and they both are in the same general market, let's say same size, same whatever they do, and this company shows that they have a bunch of crashes, or their crash indicator is high, or their safety score is high, and this company doesn't, there is something to be said about that. Now, whether that is the correct amount, we don't know.
And I think what we found historically with customers is we can preach this till we're blue in the face, and we, whether by luck, by good hiring, by good practices, whatever it is, like we have a really good safety rating, right? Yeah, knock on wood. And we've some of the smaller customers that we have don't care. Some of them know what they have, but some of them don't.
They
really
don't even
care.
understand
Some people that we struggle with,
They don't have the resources.
Yeah. If you look at a larger corporation, a larger manufacturer, that stuff is super important. And the flip side to that is when you do have a good carrier and wants to get into a larger corporation, sometimes they don't have the firepower that is needed to supply that customer with capacity.
Right.
And so it's like an ongoing struggle. I mean, when we were in the reefer business, and I say that very, very lightly, we had, I don't remember, 6 or 10 reefers, and we had a good core business. But to grow, we would have had to go to 50 or 100.
Right.
And it wasn't feasible at that time. It wasn't something I was interested in.
No. And that's the thing. And that's why I think some of these companies do scale so fast. I mean, not just for profits, but
They have to.
They have to keep their numbers and everything in check, because it's a money ball thing. It's a law of averages.
It's kind of nice. We do have a niche. We're different. And,
Right.
you look at the TMCs and the Deckers and the Meltons.
Decker was on there. They had 2 fatalities, and I think...
that's still, it's sad, but that's still, I think, a phenomenal number. Like,
Taylor, do me a favor.
I'm sorry.
Google how many truck-related crashes, semi-related crashes that caused a fatality happened in 2025. Just
Okay. I'll grab that. But you guys were talking about somebody like Schneider. I found stats on the big wigs, on the larger carriers. Now, this is on, the only thing I could find was on like attorney websites, because they want to help out.
one call, that's all.
But it says that so from 20 to 2020, so 2 year, 2020 to 2022. Now this is where you guys talk about the numbers being off. It says they had 240 injury accidents in 2 years.
Schneider did?
With 19 fatalities.
Right.
But how many trucks do they have?
They, at that time,
Because that's where this one is based on percentage.
10,600.
So
12,000 drivers.
So they had 240 accidents divided by 10,000. That's 2.4%.
Injury accidents.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But still, that's 2.4%. So that's why this is.
But like 9% of their accidents resulted in fatalities.
Yeah. 19 fatalities.
Yeah.
Just interesting. They also, they have other ones on here too. You guys were talking about, like, they have JB Hunt on here. They have Swift. They have that information, which is interesting. Swift had 70 fatalities in that amount of time.
Wow.
See, and that's what I was
JB
expecting
Hunt,
to see.
44.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll have to dive into this a little bit more next week.
It's interesting, and I think the data is skewed, and I think the data is potentially manipulated
For someone's benefit?
Okay. If you're facing a $44 million claim, you are going to do everything you can to, I don't want to say get out of it, but
Mitigate your risk.
make it go away. Like, make it right, move on, and you damn well better learn, right? Something needs to be done.
And what did you do? Like, how do you make sure that it doesn't happen again? Because that's where I feel like negligence.
If you could answer that, you'd be a billionaire.
I'm not saying make sure an accident doesn't happen again, but I'm saying, hey, like, how do you protect yourself? Because I don't think anyone woke up that day hoping to cause an accident that took someone's life.
Here you go. Talk about training like this. This is an accident we had. We were on a 2-lane road, probably a 35 mile an hour, I don't remember, 35 mile an hour speed limit, in Memphis. Okay. Help you. So we were going to turn right into a truck stop.
Yep.
However, we were in the left lane, but the lanes weren't clearly marked because the lines weren't.
They were not
visible.
And the road was beat up, and it was not in a good area.
So we were going to hang a right and turn into the truck stop, which we signaled.
Yep.
There was a truck driven by a passenger vehicle driven by a professional truck driver that came zooming by us.
On the right.
On the right. We did not see them, and
turned into them.
The vehicles collided.
No one was seriously hurt.
Correct. But you talk about training. Like,
what do you see?
Both were professional drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Both were trained and should have known better.
Mm-hmm.
It still happened.
You
can't prevent everything.
You can't. But also, I mean, you drive by. That
guy was someplace he shouldn't have been, with somebody he shouldn't have been.
A lady of the night.
He had a friend.
Yes.
So I think, I don't know why he was so speedy. Maybe he had someplace to be, I'm assuming.
Dinner plans with his actual honey.
If that's what you want to call it.
But, yeah. On every back of every...
So we have an accident because of that.
Yeah,
because it was towed.
On the back of every reefer door. Mm-hmm. What is the one sign?
Wide right turn.
What is the word that it says in front of that?
Caution.
This vehicle makes wide right turns, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not there just for fun. If we would have been in the right lane and maybe protected that lane a little bit, that, and maybe S'd out or swung out, that still could have happened.
But our driver literally made the turn, straightened out. That's 75, 100 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Was going to turn right into
signaled again and was going to turn right because it was marked. It was a 2-lane road, but it was the lines were gone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had the video proof, and we still got docked for it.
Yeah, and we paid.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't know where I was going with that, but we were talking about training. Yeah,
like that guy knows better.
Should have.
But in his mind,
my kids know better because I pounded into them. Stay away from the trucks. Don't go near them.
Right. But how do you? All right, if you're in a congested area and you make a left-hand turn into a 2-lane road, but it's not marked, and it's actually or a 1-lane road, and it's not marked that it's clearly a 2-lane road, what do you do?
Yeah.
Oh, please refer to this. I'm not mocking safety because do not take it that way, but there's got to be some human aspects in here too, and I think that's where the patterns come. Like if you constantly show violation after violation after violation after violation after, you're not doing anything about this, or you don't have the right procedures in place to prevent the motoring public.
Right.
If this is your first time issue, I don't think you're going to be getting hit with a $44 million loss. There's clearly some other things here.
Yeah.
Because it was
compensatory
and punitive.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you guys, listeners, are still awake, like, subscribe, and share. But if you have an opinion, comment below. Or if you have, I don't want to say examples because I don't want to see a bunch of crashes right before Christmas.
And kind of going back to our safety score, and I don't like talking about stuff because then something always goes wrong. But
don't do it.
I think it really comes down to hiring, to the person we're putting in that seat, and are they professional?
And training.
And the training that goes along with that, right? But it is so common in our industry today to just throw somebody the keys. It is. I'm sorry, it is.
There's a carrier up the road that's what they do. The running joke is every nursing home's got the people out of it because they needed CDL drivers. Mm-hmm. And they literally just throw them the keys, no paperwork, nothing.
There was a company right around the corner that used to do that. They got bought out, but I'll tell you after. they would have posts on Craigslist, and you could show up tomorrow and start driving.
Craigslist?
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
And
those are the people that should be penalized.
well,
Not saying-
there are rules and regulations that you're supposed to follow.
But not saying that someone that does things right shouldn't be penalized. Because if they were in the wrong, that's the reason that we have laws and rules and all of those and regulations. If they were in the wrong, do the time, right?
Yeah.
But man, oh man, like it doesn't have to be this difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Anyway,
Do you want to hear some exact wording from that case in regards to what you guys were talking about? So it
Sure.
just said, evidence presented during the trial showed that trucking operator New Prime's driver, Stephen Ritter, did not receive adequate winter weather driving training and failed to exercise extreme caution in that hazardous weather. Did you see the accident as a whole? The numbers? It was 133.
it was the same one.
133 vehicles piled up, and he was one of 6 people killed in that pileup.
so he passed away too? The driver of the truck?
The guy that
person
he
in front
hit,
of him.
but then
okay.
also in that there were 5 other people that died just in that one pileup. I didn't realize that.
So it was the same one.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
It also said that it found the company that was responsible for de-icing the interstate did not do so properly. So I'm guessing.
Well, how do you in Texas? I'll be honest. Like they don't know.
Well, they don't know what to do. I have friends that live down there, and like when it's a serious, like when they get serious snow, they're like, we literally shut down.
My wife's grandmother lives in Raleigh, North Carolina. They got snow like 2 years ago on Christmas, so like 12 inches, and it didn't melt for like a week. The whole place was shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
They're just not staffed for it. They don't have, their taxes don't go toward hundreds of trucks to get rid of the snow because it doesn't make sense.
it's usually melted by the afternoon.
If
It
they get it.
brings
at
me
all.
back. How long ago was that one down here on 41?
I was just thinking about that in the fog. In Oshkosh.
Fog and snow.
Yeah.
I had to pick a driver up.
It was probably like 5 years ago-ish. My parents just beat it. They were on their way home from my house, and I saw the news.
It
and I
like
called
popped
them.
up.
Yeah, it was out of nowhere. It was right in between Oshkosh and Neenah, and it was just one after another after another. You can go on YouTube and see the videos.
Yeah, it was like
It's
86 cars or something like that.
it's
Like how do
wild.
you control that?
Well, and God, what's an act of God, right? Like some of that stuff is like, I think in that scenario, like the fog just kind of blew in, right? That's what caused that accident.
Oh, you couldn't see if you
That
watched
wasn't
those.
fog. The one in Oshkosh.
It wasn't?
That was snow.
That was snow. That was
Like a snow squall?
But it was so, to your point, on the video, dude, you can't see 3 feet in front of those vehicles.
And it wasn't necessarily even Oshkosh. It was
It's right by that barn on 41.
Yeah.
Is where they pile
Across,
up.
and the warehouses are on the other side.
Correct.
and the building that shares a name with a South Park building rhymes with Schmeppermint Schnippo. Is right. That's where I picked our driver up from. I was at a
Yes.
different company.
Yep.
And it was bad. I mean, it was still happening, and it took me. That normally would take me probably 15 minutes to get there from my house. It took me an hour and 45 minutes to get there in my personal vehicle.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Not good.
So anyway, want
That
to
was
squirrel with
that
something
was
else?
exhilarating.
The best episode this year.
That was fun.
End of year.
Yeah.
We got to go out with a bang.
Is this the last one of the year? No, there'll be one more.
Oh yeah. If we do it,
If we do it.
it'd be like the 28th or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
So-
gotta work that into the schedule.
Thanks for listening. We're probably over your 30-minute attention
Yep.
span.
Yep.
Be good.
Have a great holiday. Wish everyone happy
Yeah.
holidays.
Merry Christmas. I don't think that gets said enough these days.
And enjoy it. Have fun with your family and
Thanks for listening.
play this at your family Christmas.
Yeah, if you guys want this for like a handout CD for a white elephant gift,
A CD? How are you going to make a
DVD,
CD?
I don't know, MP3.
You can't do that anymore.
That's what you're getting for your white elephant gift
There you go.
A CD?
of all the podcast
Or
episodes.
during your family Christmas, and they usually put like a fire in the background. Just put our podcast playing with no sound.
Yeah. Don't say a word.
Don't say. Yep.
We should have wore hats, Christmas hats.
Let's do that and throw this out on like eBay or Etsy or something and try sell one.
We would have to pay people.
Yeah. Them days are gone.
I'm not a very good businessman.
Oh well.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye,
Merry
guys.
Christmas.